Say hey everyone, welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquett. Alongside me, as I call him every time he's here, because it does take me back to fond memories. A Pub Sports Raider original, Donnie Rightside. Donnie, how's your baseball season going so far? Actually,
Very good. Enjoying it. Very good June. It's been a lot of fun here. So hopefully over the next couple of days here, we will continue that. Only 2 days left in June before we head into July, and off we go into the Major League Baseball season.
Yes, it is officially baseball season now that
Yeah.
everyone has finished. Stanley Cup's given out. I don't want to talk about basketball because that's not a sport in my world anymore right now. But it is a fun time indeed for all of us involved. A shortish card today, a little 7-gamer, I believe. So can't complain. I've got 2 plays so far. Get to open up with talking about your Phillies, so that'll be exciting. Love Donnie Wright's out on the Phillies. So let's get right into it. No waste no time. Donnie, you'll never guess, but this is Say Hey Plays 84. Say Hey Plays 84 officially underway here with Phillies Braves here. And I kind of want to just clear out for you, Donnie, because a lot of stuff has happened to the Phillies. I was going to say since the last time we spoke, but just since like 2 days ago, Bryce Harper gone for, however long. They say a couple of weeks, who knows, but I'll clear the floor for you here, Donnie. This is a gigantic series, I think, for Phillies fans everywhere. You don't have your guy, but Kyle Schwarber might be here to save you. I don't know.
Yeah, Schwarb's been really good as of late, and that's pretty much the only guy in the lineup that you can count on. Nick Castellanos, big money free agent, hasn't really come through just yet here. JT Realmuto, one of the more steady guys in the lineup, hasn't had a very good season. So now you're needing other guys to step up outside of Bryce Harper, who, quite frankly, might not be back till late in the month of August. And by then, it might be too little too late. Tough series for the Phillies coming right up against it, playing the Atlanta Braves, who are a very good baseball club. But yes, since the last time we spoke, Jose, where were the Phillies at? Wound, spinning around, spinning wheels, as we like to say, under 500, went on that tear. And it looks like they were just starting to turn the corner with Bryce Harper putting in another MVP caliber year. And he goes down for possibly 6 weeks or more, stunting all that growth. Zach Wheeler gets beat yesterday. You're at a real disadvantage today with Ranger Suarez on the mound up against Wright. And I don't think the Phillies will be able to win tonight. And quite frankly, I would be surprised, Jose, if the Phillies do make a run at even a wild card spot now.
Dang. That's tough. I saw some rumors today about Andrew Benintendi going to the Phillies, and I was like, yeah, sure, yeah, Phillies. And now you just telling me that you're not even thinking you're going to make a wild card spot. I mean, that's tough. That is tough. I cannot wait for this game, honestly, because we'll talk about Kyle Wright. He's been shaky. Very shit. I mean, let's just say he's been a great pitcher all year, but the last 2 starts, 4 innings against the Giants, not great. 10 hits, 5 1/3 innings pitched, 4 Ks, 1 walk. At the Cubs, 11 hits, 5 earned runs, 8 Ks, 1 walk, and 6 innings. That's not the Kyle Wright we saw a couple of starts beginning of the year. But the Braves are lefty mashers right now. 141 weighted runs created plus this month against lefties. You mentioned you don't have any faith in Ranger yourself. I believe Matt Randall, shout out to Matt Randall, the team play of the day is on Braves team total today as well. So yeah, I definitely don't hate that as well. Ron Lofton liking the team total over 5 at plus 105. Shout out to Tone Miggin, Stellar Girl, Ronald Sherrill, Ron Lofton, Deflon Don, all you guys for joining us. Appreciate you guys. Going to be a very interesting card to say the least. And Donnie, I got extremely angry last night, Donnie. Extremely angry at this game. My Red Sox, they fall to the Toronto Blue Jays in horrific fashion. When it just really got your hopes up and then just pulls the rug right onto you. I'm not going to talk about Tanner Houck because that's not going to lead to good things here. But I will talk about this game. And truthfully, I wanted them to win yesterday to make this game not a must-win game. And I would really hope the Red Sox come out with urgency here. But Alek Manoah is a dog, as all of us know. Manoah, who pitched against the Red Sox on the 28th this last month, I believe. On 7 innings, no hit, 7 innings, no runs. Take that, no problem. I mean, he's been great. Last start, 6 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks, 3 walks against the Milwaukee Brewers at their place. We'll always take that as well. And then he had kind of struggled against the Yankees and is probably his worst start of the season. But obviously, playing the Yankees is a struggle, a challenge of stuff right now. They're regular season warriors right now. So on Nick Pivetta, let's talk about him real quick as well, who actually got his season turned around against the Blue Jays. The first couple of starts of his season, it was like, okay, where's Nick Pivetta from last year? We saw him come out of the bullpen in the playoffs and dominate. Where's that guy? And then he went back-to-back against the Blue Jays and pitched pretty well compared to what he was. It was a lot of 5 earned run performances, like the first 3 starts. And then the back-to-back against the Blue Jays kind of, fixed it, kind of turned it around, even though he did kind of get shelled. Well, we're not even really shelled. I think it was 2 earned runs and 3 earned runs in both starts. And I thought it was pretty impressive how he turned the season around and has been a star. And I'm sure, Donnie, seeing Nick Pivetta dominate does kind of tickle you a little bit just because of Dave Dombrowski's performance. But I think he's a great pitcher. I've seen a lot of first 5 under love as well. But ultimately, my heart was broken by the Red Sox yesterday. So I think I need a day or 2 before I bet the Red Sox. So I had to pass here.
Yeah, it'd be a tough one tonight, too, because Manoah, obviously a strikeout guy, but also having a very good season, young in his career as well. So the Red Sox fans will certainly see a lot of Manoah over the next couple of years. But if we're looking from a hitting perspective here, we'll see if Pivetta holds up because he does have some pretty good splits here, lefty and righty. Weighted on base percentage this year to lefties, 281, to righties at 277, which is very good. But sometimes you just have to ride that hot hand. It seems like Toronto right now does that Boston's number. I think Toronto's probably the play tonight and should be able to handle Pivetta on the mound.
Yeah, it's disappointing to say. Toronto's ultimate home field advantage is just too much for everyone right now. It's sad, except for the Yankees, who everyone got vaccinated. So sad.
Yep.
Sad. Let's move on to this next game. By the way, of course, I thought it was funny. Last note, I guess. Blue Jays first against righties and lefties this month. So they are they're a good hitting squad. They're a good hitting squad. They can just find some bullpen arms. Maybe, just maybe. But I still think the Red Sox are right there with them when everyone's there. Next game on our slate, Minnesota Twins, Cleveland Guardians. It's Dylan Bundy Day. And Donnie, I don't know if you remember our friend Dylan Bundy here.
Yeah.
There are a lot of faces of Dylan Bundy. And I have learned some as of late, Maybe you know of all these Bundys, but I didn't. Of course, we've got the original. We've got the original Ted here. We've got him. We've got Al, who's seemingly everyone's favorite. A lot of people love Al. I will admit that. I didn't know there was a lot of love for Al. Yeah. Also, we have King Kong, a classic. Yep. And then I didn't know there was a female Bundy as well. She's there as well. I always forget her name.
Kelly Bundy?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. I definitely remember that. Donnie, thank you for the save there.
Exactly.
There's a lot of different Bundys. And ever since all of these graphics have been made, Bundy has kind of turned around his season again. He started off hot, shit the bed for a little bit, and now he's come back a little bit. Last time out against Colorado, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 Ks, 2 walks. Sure, Bundy, we'll take that every time. Arizona, 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 7 Ks, no walks. Sure. As always, we'll take that. But how long is that going to last again? Because I feel like we're going to get a lot of that from Bundy. I feel like he's going to go, get hot for a couple starts, and then the release point will get lost again, and then, just do it all over again. But I'll say the most fascinating Bundy start, or about 2 fascinating Bundy stats for me here. Home road splits. At home for Bundy this year, he's got 25 2/3 innings pitched, a 2.10 ERA. Fantastic. On the road, oh boy, 6.82 ERA and 34 1/3 innings pitched. So I don't know if I can back Bundy here, but the thing that made me really conflicted and I guess ultimately took me off the game because I was like, am I going to back Cal Quantrill here? I decided no, because Bundy's career against the Cleveland Guardians and, many faces of the Cleveland Guardians, better teams than this Cleveland Guardians team. He's 4-1 with a 2.82 against the Cleveland Guardians. So, I respect it, Bundy, and I respect Bundy enough to not fade him here, and I'll pass at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'll take the over in this game. I think the 8.5 sounds about right here for us. If we're looking at Dylan Bundy on the season, he's got a 107 xFIP minus number, which isn't too bad there. Sierra number 4.24, which isn't bad. But Quantrill's one of the guys that I do like to fade. Now, you take a look and say, well, you take a look at his ERA. It's not that bad, 3.76, Jose. But those analytical numbers jump up there with an xFIP of 4.82 and a Sierra of close to 5. I think we get runs tonight here. Maybe that bad Dylan Bundy / Ted Bundy / Kelly Bundy on the road shows up tonight, gives up 4 or 5 here. We could tap into a nice little over.
Kelly Bundy, who would have thought? Who would have thought? Not me. I didn't know. There was another one. Did not know there was another one. Shout out to Jay Peasy, also on the over here. Ronald Lycan, Cleveland. And I'm sorry, Wallaby, for ruining Kelly Bundy, but
yeah, tough.
Mate, there's a lot of faces.
Legendary Kelly Bundy.
A lot of faces to him or her, and if I ever find out that there's more Bundys, more will be made. More will be made. More will be made. Next game on our slate is a game that I've moved on here, and the line actually gone on my favor. I thought it was pretty weird earlier this morning, minus 122 for Sandy Alcantara on the road against a team who he's faced and dominated this year. And I was like, all right, well, I'll bite. I'll take the cheese. I took first 5 minus a half just to get plus money as well, plus 115. Palante, sure. I don't think he's very good, truthfully. He's a good young pitcher, I guess I should say. So obviously he can get better and all that stuff. But last time out against Chicago at home, 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 Ks, 3 walks. At Boston, he pitched pretty well against the Red Sox, too. 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, a home run, 4 Ks, 1 walk there. Fascinating to see. I will say he pitched a little worse on the road, or at home, I should say. 2.57 ERA at home compared to a 1.31 on the road, which is impressive. But, I trust ultimately Sandy Alcantara. I did make the bet before I saw, and I guess it was announced maybe like 45 minutes ago-ish that Jazz is on the IL now, back spasms or back strain, which everyone knows how much I love Jazz Chisholm. He's the face of Miami baseball, and that's tough. But the bet's in. I'm riding with Sandy. Let's just give me 2 runs, Miami. Give me 2 runs against a righty who they've hit well this month. 109 weighted runs created plus, 9th in the league. Obviously, the concern, the Cardinals' offense is not a joke either. They're 116. That's 7th this month against righties, but I trust Sandy. So Cardinals first 5 for me.
I like to look there for you. I don't have an official play in this game, leaning either way, but if I'm going to take the Miami Marlins, what do I want? I want Alcantara straight up there against Palante over those first 5 innings, because you leave it up to the bullpens, we'll see. But you're advanced, like when you take a look at the Oakland Athletics, if you wanted to bet them yesterday. I was talking to some people with Frankie Montez on the mound. If you're looking to bet them, you're not going to take them full game. You want them first 5 innings to go head-to-head with Sears. I have that same feeling tonight. Look, if Alcantara gives up 4 runs over the first 5 innings, they're not going to come back and win this baseball game at that point here. So put your luck down. Bet it in the first 5 innings. Alcantara should be able to handle his business here. Lefty pitchers have been getting tattooed by St. Louis lately, at least. So I think Alcantara comes in here as a righty, shakes things up a little bit here, and they can hold it down. As long as you can scrape a couple against Palante, it's not a great pitcher. I think you should be all right here. I like that look.
Yeah, I wouldn't hit a first 5 under here, but I'm assuming the 7.5 is probably a 3.5, as always. So it's just a little too low for me, truthfully. There. It's a 4, but it's a juice 4 at minus 125. Yeah. So no thanks. No thanks there. Let's move on. Next game, and another move here, actually. So it might be only these 2 moves for me, but who knows? I think this number is puzzling, Donnie, in this Cincinnati Reds Cubs spot. I understand the weather, maybe a wind blowing in. I'll check Ballpark Pal right now again to see how it's going, but a 7.5 for 2 of the worst bullpens in the league, top 10 worst, easily top 5 worst this month. And I understand Hunter Green on his day can be amazing, and Justin Steele, who has pitched well in spots, even though he comes off a 6-run, 5 earned run performance against my Pirates. I just really think that this, and by the way, the Reds obviously hit lefties this month, shockingly enough. Hit lefties really well, 144, fourth in the league. So I'm just all that to say, I'm taking the over 7.5, and I'm a little surprised that the number has not gone up from this morning. It's a little concerning, truthfully. 8-mile-an-hour winds blowing in from center to right field a little bit. So, and it's 70. I was going to say a little chilly, but it's 73, so it's not chilly at all. But I truthfully think there's going to be runs in this game, and I'm shocked this is a 7.5.
The funny part about that, too, as you say, because the old adage goes, you don't have to hit the ball out of the ballpark to score runs. You can hit doubles and singles and move runners over, and we certainly don't have two dominant pitchers on the mound tonight, so I do agree with you there on the 7.5. We're taking a look just from a pitcher perspective at this point. Maybe a little bit better here on the mound for Justin Steele, 95 xFIP minus here. He's got a 3.80 xFIP number, which isn't bad. Sierra number 4.19, so you should be able to get some runs here. And also, when you take a look at Hunter Green, he actually has a decent xFIP minus number at 102. Look at that ERA, 5.66, and also a 4.11 xFIP number. Now, the interesting part about him is he actually has a better Sierra in that 3 range, 3.77, but 7.5 at Wrigley. And also, Jose, we're not talking about the winds where it's 25 miles an hour blowing dead end, where you got to actually hit, 2 times to get it out of the ballpark as opposed to hitting the baseball 1 time. I'm with you on the over here. I feel comfortable with that, but also slightly in here to the Chicago Cubs for me as well.
Yeah, I just think that's pretty crazy to see a 7.5 with both these guys. And obviously Green, we'll talk about him. His last time out was against the Dodgers, and that turns into batting practice at some point. 3 home runs there, 6 earned runs in 5 innings. Gives up 4 earned runs, 2 home runs to Milwaukee. When he's bad, it's really bad. And he just starts throwing. It's one of those days where he's just not locating the slider, not throwing his changeup. And then it's just like, all right, well, he's going to rear back and try to throw it past major league hitters, and that will work at some point. But, against good teams, or I guess you say against good hitters, they'll catch up to the velocity at some point. So, yeah, I like the over there, and it's going to be an interesting game, to say the least there. And that's not something I'll say often for a Reds-Cubs game, because that is truly a bum fight. Next game on our slate is a very interesting game for me, because yesterday we talked about this game yesterday, and I was on the Rockies first 5 money line. That was awesome. But it was coined to me, and the thing that basically got me on the bet was the Rockies are about to pull a Pirates on the Dodgers again. Are they going to pull out a 3-game sweep of the Dodgers? And I say that I laugh because I think it's just so funny to say. Kershaw sucking in Coors made a lot of sense. We backed him, or bet against him there, and that was awesome. But does it make sense here, Donnie? I'd like to give you the floor first here, because I want to hear what you have to say, because this game's very interesting to me. It's very interesting to me, to say the least.
Yeah, it's baffling. It's baffling what the Dodgers do. It's almost like, hey, why don't you just have the Dodgers go, head up against the Padres, and they'll win 100 games in the season if they play them every single day over 162. But throw a couple bad baseball teams at the Dodgers and they just can't operate. I'm actually shocked, because even though they had that Sunday night lag, as we like to call it, right? You played Sunday night, you got to fly out, go to another ballpark, and you just don't come. Look, nobody expected a shutout, a 3-hit shutout against them by an underperforming Chad Kuhl, of all people. And then you thought they would bounce back yesterday, and they didn't. So tonight, I guess we're rolling the dice again against German Marquez and his, xFIP number over 4.5. Right-handed batters have gotten the best of him. But is it true that you just don't have Mookie Betts? You don't have a baseball team anymore? Freddie Freeman now having buyer's remorse. He wants to go back to Atlanta. Where is this team right now? This team is rudderless right now, Jose. But again, I look at this and say to myself, do I want to actually pay a minus 205 here on the road for the Dodgers the way they've been playing? Absolutely not. You might look at that 11.5 and say both teams should be able to get after each other. Otis is a very good pitcher, no question about it. But I'm not paying a 205 the way the Dodgers are playing right now. Absolutely not.
Honestly, I think I want to move on the Rockies first 5 again, to be honest. Yeah. I don't like Marquez, truthfully, at all. Every time I see him and Senzatella on the bump, and they're back-to-back days, so I think he'll be on tomorrow. And it's just so funny to me. Every time they come on, I just think fade immediately. But Minnesota, last time out for Herman, 7 2/3, 3 hits, no earned runs, 2 Ks, 5 walks, got around those walks.
Yeah.
Can he do that again? Not even that again. Can he do something like that today, and I think it's going to be interesting. So I think I'm going to move on a Rockies first five, just because, like I said, I hear the
Kick them when they're
ghosts.
down.
Yeah, exactly. I hear the ghosts of the Pirates. I hear Jack Sparrow in the back of my head just saying, take it again, because they're why not? Like you said, I think the Freddie Freeman stuff. I think all that is hilarious. I think Alex Anthopoulos, gigantic balls. So shout out to him for calling the agent's bluff and be like, you know what? I've got the same thing in someone X amount of years younger. I don't have to pay him as much and all that. And I guess ultimately they ended up winning all the deals, you know? I'd rather have Matt Olson for the next 6 years than Freddie Freeman, personally. They're doing about the same this year. And he's ruined, and they basically poison pilled the Dodgers, too, in the process.
Yeah.
They gave him a poison pill with a mopey Freddie Freeman crying all over the place. I cannot believe it. And the Clayton Kershaw quotes as well, Donnie. I bet you as a Phillies fan, you're loving this.
I mean, I saw the Freddie Freeman stuff made me laugh because actually, we were live on the air doing a show, and I had to read it twice. And also, it was like, sometimes you check like the source, like, oh, it must be Buster Olney with 3 R's or double O to start his name, no check mark, because it almost read as one of those parody accounts that you would read. I said, hold on here. This guy chose Los Angeles, got paid more money to go to Los Angeles, and then he goes back to Atlanta for a weekend. It's like, I want to be back. What kind of professional is that? And then to blame it on your agent as if he was the one who signed the contract, right? Come on now. Own up to it at least.
Yeah, it was tough. Extremely tough. And yeah, the firing of the agent, I think it was today. I'm not 100% sure if it was officially today or yesterday, whenever that was now, but just crazy. Absolutely crazy to see. So glad that is rolling there. So let's move on to our final game here, Donnie. It's an interesting one because I guess, well, I'm not going to say I guess. I love both these pitchers. And it kind of hurts me to say that I love Michael Kopech because he, Red Sox deal, all that good stuff. But I've heard the little butterflies are saying that Chris Sale is back to full 100% Chris Sale.
Back to form? Oh, yeah. Boy.
I've heard those butterflies, Donnie. The changeup's back. He's throwing the gasolina again. And what I really care about is the changeup. If the changeup's back and we're throwing 3 pitches instead of 2 again, I don't care how hard you throw. Those changeup's back. So Shohei Ohtani versus Kopech here. And I said today and yesterday that I think the White Sox are officially like dead in the water. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. They're not going to fire Tony La Russa. And I think this, I don't know. I'm expecting, honestly, Donnie, I don't know if you've seen this viral tweet that's gone out every time. Every time that Trout and Ohtani do something and the Angels win or lose, there's always a tweet that's like, the Angels stat lines are always like, Trout goes 3 for 4 with 4 home runs, blah, blah, blah. And that's been the first time since Tuskegee Airmen, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
And then the Angels lose. So that's I have a feeling that that's going to happen again tonight. It's going to be very, very interesting to see. I love Ohtani. You got to pay the tax here for him. 190 is super, super juiced. I do not want to pay that for arguably. I think Michael Kopech can pitch him the exact same, and Shohei, I have a little bit of a bias towards him because I love him very much. And I seen him absolutely dominate my Red Sox team just thoroughly, but that's anyone with a splitter. Anyone with a good splitter can dominate the Red Sox. So ultimately, I had to pass here. I think this is just going to be a fantastic game to watch. I just cannot believe the White Sox are this bad, truthfully. And honestly, I can say the same for the Angels because they were that good at the beginning of the year, and now they're shit.
Yeah, it's a shame, too, because you want to see Trout. You want to see Ohtani in the playoffs. And, again, it just looks like the same old Angels are not going to do that. And they gave us even a tease like, whoa, they're going to be a really good baseball this year. And then Rendon's himself right out of the lineup for the rest of the year. And here we are with an under 500 baseball team with 2 of the best players in baseball on there. Now, having said that, Shohei Ohtani should be able to dominate tonight. When we always look at, what makes sense here going up against the White Sox lineup. Give me a lefty pitcher. Well, Ohtani's a right-handed pitcher, and he's a power pitcher. To me, I have 31 pitchers rated today with a minimum of 20 innings in 2022, and he's number one on my card today. 66 xFit minus, absolutely insane Sierra number of 2.67. Now we take a look at Kopech there. The interesting part about him is we know he's a strikeout guy and he can dial it up, but he's got a high xFit minus number at 119. But take a look at this. 2.59 ERA, Sierra 4.61. There are some differences there, but always the problem is you can't just lean in, right, Jose, and say, well, the Angels are going to hit. Yeah, Trout can go deep, Ohtani can go deep, and they can get beat by 7 runs, which seems like is the norm out in Los Angeles. So what's going to surprise you tonight? Ohtani, complete game, gives up 2 runs. They lose 2-1. Trout hits a solo home run, has the only run, right? Doesn't that feel like that's what's going to happen tonight at this point? That's the way I feel.
Classic. It's so classic. It makes me laugh every time. And
yeah,
it makes me sad. At least the thing that I'm keeping solace in, and that is truly the things that I'm so excited for. The Baseball World Classic won, and I'm going to move heaven and earth to be there, obviously. Shout out to my sister who lives in Miami, and the finals are going to be in Miami. The Baseball World Classic is 1. Number 2 is Shohei Ohtani's free agency. Not this year, after next year. So we have to wait.
You see his contract? My goodness, man.
Yeah, well,
like 2 years, $9 million, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You're talking about a bargain. My goodness.
Well, and now, or I guess I should say, in a year or so, he's going to get paid. I'll say this now. He's going to get paid more than Mike Trout.
Man.
Because you're paying for 2 players.
You're paying for 2 players and also that worldwide impact. Like you're getting the entire continent of Asia with him, which is huge. Yes.
Yep.
He's going to absolutely break the bank.
I think he's going to get your $500 million. Like he is going to be ridiculously paid. And I cannot wait. I want to watch it all. I want it all just come at me. I cannot wait. Selfishly, where I want him to come.
Boston, he'd be a big target up there. Save your money.
I'd cry, Donnie. I would cry tears. I would cry real tears to see that. Even if he just goes up there, just like arm injury. He's never gonna pitch again. I'd be so happy. Just so awesome just to see him. And plus, just don't go to the fucking Yankees. Go to the Dodgers before the fucking Yankees. As I said that, I look and I see Derek Ohtani to the Yankees immediately. That's going to be the whole battle, and I cannot wait. That's going to be so fun, and it's going to be a great time. It's going to be a great time. I cannot wait. Donnie, I appreciate you for joining me. A very interesting card, to say the least. I've only added 1 play, truthfully, and it's a big underdog, I guess. So it's going to be a fun, interesting night, to say the least. I'll go first here real quick. I've got the Reds Cubs over 7.5 minus 115. I got that earlier today, as well as Miami first 5 minus a half at plus 115. And then I added on this card on this show, Rockies first 5 money line plus 145. It's plus 155 yesterday, so a little down, but it's going to be an interesting game, to say the least. Will they stave off a sweep? Dave Roberts even talking about like, oh God, the Rockies just kick our ass in Coors. Oh, what the hell? So who knows what's going to happen, but it's going to be a fun game, to say the least. Donnie, what are you on?
Yeah, I got some things too. Some fun stuff tonight. Atlanta's team total over 4.5 minus 115. Bet that a little bit earlier today. Put a couple videos out. Also in progress right now. I did take the Orioles team total over 3.5 minus 122. That's a blowout game, which is good because you're not going to get a great bullpen, effort probably out of Seattle. 3 runs here by the Orioles. Got about 5 at bats here to sort of get 1 more across. I think that happens. But also, they've been having a lot of fun with high juiced alternative team total parlays. Paying like minus 150s, 140s, 160s here today. The one I have already halfway home, it was the Orioles at a team total of 1.5. They got that paired up with the Atlanta Braves over 2.5. Now, again, it's expensive. It's minus 165, so $1.65 to win 100. But I've been having some success with those and some fun. But also, one of the markets I think is very interesting here, and FanDuel does a lot of these, and I know a lot of other books as well. The RBI props, the to score a run props. There's some really fascinating numbers out there that you can have fun with. And tonight I went with Austin Riley to get an RBI at plus 140 in Philadelphia, sitting right in that cleanup role. He's got some guys with heavy weighted on base base averages ahead of them. You figure if the Braves are going to score runs, let's just say the Braves hit their team total of 5. It'd be shocking to me if Riley isn't right in the middle of that with a solo home run, a double in the gap, a sac fly, something that's going to be able to turn that into some money. So those are the 3 plays that I have today, along with some messing around props here on some alternative team totals. But I do like the Braves. Hey, I'll fade the Philadelphia Phillies if it makes me money. And I just do think that they're going to score some runs to have Suarez in that bullpen.
What'd you have Austin Riley at?
Plus 140 to record an RBI.
I've got it at plus 130. That's shocking.
Yeah.
That is shocking to see. Before we got, Donnie, in my head today, I was going to be like, you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to do a high vig team total run line, or team total parlay for Donnie.
Love it. So much fun.
But now I'm like, Austin Riley to record an RBI?
Yeah, 1 RBI. That's it. Doesn't matter how you get it. Error, whatever. Actually, you can't get it on error because you won't get an RBI. Give me a sac fly. Give me a home run. Give me a double in the gap. Anything. We got this one.
All right. Well, I'll tell you right now, I just want to check, splits righty-lefty real quick because, I am curious, against lefties.
He's been a monster. He's been a monster against lefties, yes.
Against lefties, he's almost hitting 300.
Yes.
I mean, he's a fucking wide low. We all know that.
ISO power number through the roof, weighted on base average through the roof. Suarez 348 as a weighted on base average to right-handers. It just makes some sense. There's a lot of guys, to be honest with you, in that Braves lineup with some green lights for me tonight. But I just said, put me right in the middle of that order, Jose, and I'll live with it.
No, I agree with you 100%. You know what's funny? Yeah. He's hitting 300 against lefties, but he only has 5 home runs against lefties compared to against righties. He has 13. And he's hitting with a 240 average. That's hilarious.
Small ballpark, nice weather. Come on now. Let's go.
Let's do it.
And all right. Let's be cheering against the Phillies, too. Come on, hit a home run, Riley. Who says that as a Phillies fan? Me. I like money.
I'm gonna officially add that with you then, Donnie. I have it at plus 130.
Yep.
So I've got it Austin Riley RBI at plus 130. Why not? Let's do it. Plus 20 spots for us. I love that, Donnie.
Right.
See, we get it. We got it, and we're good now. I am excited for it. Thank you for joining me as always, Donnie. I appreciate your time. A quick show.
A lot of fun, man.
I appreciate it as always. Shout out to everyone watching. Donnie, where can the people find you at, by the way?
Yeah, all over the place. Sports Grid Network, 7 to 9 a.m., TV and radio, afternoon radio show, 1 to 3. Both myself and Kevin Walsh have a great time, and also doing a lot of videos for Bookmakers Review, and always around the channels, right? I love it, man. Anybody wants to talk baseball like Jose can talk it, I'm more than happy to come on the show and have some fun and kick it. Absolutely.
Yes, it's a good time as always.
Yeah, it is.
PSR original. So shout out to you, Donnie. Appreciate what you do and what you have done.
Yes.
So I appreciate it. Let's go into the nights and let's have a great night, guys. We'll be back here again tomorrow, as always, 5:30 Eastern, 4:30 Central. Don't forget to say hey on social media. Follow me on Twitter at Jose Bouquett. That's where you find the plays. I'll be tweeting that out here in the next, 10 minutes or so, whenever I get around to it. We'll do the next 5 minutes probably. But we'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, say hey and see you guys.